Today we're going to work on partial foiling. I want to first go over the tools that we're going to be using for you. Of course, you're going to need your foil. You can have your pre-cut foil strips or your roll foil. Of course, you need your color bowl and your color brush and product. You're going to need your duckbill clips, your gloves, and a rat tail comb, a metal tip rat tail comb. There are several ways that we can do partings for our partial foil. What I've got shown here on the mannequin is a center mohawk, and it comes from the front hairline to right behind the crown in the back. If you notice, we have the hair neat and clean and out of the way, and that's one of the reasons why we use the duckbill clips, because it holds the hair a little bit tighter and it's not quite as bulky as your butterfly clips. What you're seeing now is an illustration of another way that you could do your partial foiling technique, and it is an off-center. If you have a client that parts their hair on the side, you can move that mohawk section slightly to the left or to the right, depending on which side of the head they wear their hair to. So now we're going to get started on our partial foiling, and we are going to work from the back of the head or right behind the crown forward. So again, we're going to be working from right behind the crown, working forward towards the forehead for our partial foil. First thing I'm going to do is come in and take a really thin slice of hair. That slice of hair is about 1/4 inch wide. I want to make sure that it's nice and neat and clean, and my parts are straight. This makes a big difference in the end result of your highlights. So once I have that 1/4 inch parting, I'm going to go in and slice that in half. And what we're going to do today is weave. You could use the same method in a partial foil for slicing, but we're going to weave today. So I'm coming in and just weaving slightly. If you can see the amount of hair that I've weaved. If you see an area where it looks heavier, don't drop it down and re-weave. Just come in right behind it, take out a little bit of hair, and then comb it into the hair underneath. I'm going to place my foil now where it folds over my comb. You can fold it forward or you can fold it back. I want to make sure that that's nice and snug in there. I'm going to apply my product right below, about 1/2 inch below the edge of the foil, so that that hair is actually stuck to my foil. I'm going to work the product down through the mid shaft. When I get close to the bottom, I want to come in and take those ends and just lift them up. Don't swirl it around, because when you're working with lightening products, and cause the hair to tangle doing that. So just lift it up, and it also keeps you from getting product down at the edge of the foil. So once you've gotten the mid shaft through the ends with your product, you want to come in back to the scalp area, and you want to work that product up to about 1/8 inch away from the edge of the foil or the fold of the foil. Now, when you go to fold or do your first fold, one of the reasons why we kept product off the bottom of your foil is so that when we go to fold this up, we don't get product on the scalp or the hair at the scalp that we do not want lightener or color on. So we're going to fold up once, and just a really nice loose fold. You're going to come in and use your comb to create another fold right at the bottom, And all I did was just created a little indention in here. I'm not trying to make a nice tight fold. Once I've done that, I'm going to come in and use my comb again to create an indention on each side. So I've got a nice little packet here, and that fold at the bottom and the folds in the side help keep that hair in that foil without it slipping down. So we're going to move forward and do a couple more. And I want to talk about a few things while we're doing this. Normally your partial foil is going to be about 10 to 12 foils. And depending on the size of the head that you're working on, you may have to skip more hair in between. So I'm going to drop about 1/4 inch down. And then I'm going to take another 1/4 inch parting. And this 1/4 inch parting is going to be the one that I slice in half and then weave. Again, I want to make sure that's nice, clean parting here. Don't let that hair fall on your client's face, but you want to keep the hair you're not working with out of your way. Again, I'm going to come in and slice that 1/4 inch parting in half. I'm going to do a weave off of it. I'm going to check the amount of hair. If I need to go in and pull some out, I don't let that back down. Grab my foil. That nice fold over the top. I'm going to make sure that that foil is nice and snug to the scalp. If you see, I'll just kind of bend it with the curve of the head. Just makes my life easier when I'm applying the product. I'm applying that product about 1/2 inch away from the edge of the foil, working it down through the hair. And if you notice, I'm not coming in and like combing that product through. I'm actually coming in and laying that product on the hair so that it has nice saturation. Sometimes that's a problem with highlights or foil highlights, is that that product is not saturated through enough, because people will go through and use your color brush like a comb and comb that through, and you're actually dragging the product off, where you just kind of want to lay that product on. I'm going to go back. I didn't get more product. I'm going to use the product that's there and work this up to about 1/8 inch away from the scalp. Fold up. Nice and neat one time. I don't need a tight fold at the bottom. If you'll look, you see it's not tight where that hair is. I'm going to come in and create a little indent in my foil. Fold that up. Create a little indent on the sides, fold that in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply a couple more, and then we're going to show you what the end result should look like. So we've almost completed our partial foiling, and I counted we have 11 foils in the hair so far. What I wanted to do is make sure that I show you with this very last foil right in the front hairline. Unless your client was previously maybe a platinum blonde, or she was almost completely blonde, when you go to do this last foil in your placement, you want to leave out that very front hairline. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. You notice I just kind of gave a little split there, right along the mannequin's front hairline. The reason for that is you don't want to see little lines from your weave right on the front hairline. And it's always easier to go back and add more highlights than it is to fix some where you've placed too many. So I have my 1/4 inch parting. I'm going to split that in half. I'm going to tilt her back just slightly so I can get to the hair a little bit better. And come in, pull that out of my way. I want to keep my same foiling style, or my same weaving style, sorry. Might be a little much, so I'm just going to go in and pull a little out. Using the metal tip of my rat tail comb. I'm going to get that foil in there with that fold. Come in and make sure that it's nice and snug. Apply that product about 1/2 inch away from the scalp or away from the edge of the foil. Work that product through with my brush, keeping it flat, not using it as a comb. Pull those ends up. Make sure that you've saturated. You're going to go back and hold the edges of the foil down and work that product up to the edge about 1/8 of an inch. Do your nice fold up once. Make a little crease there. Fold up one more time. Crease your sides, fold in. And this is your partial foil.